Hello and welcome to Yogavataranam chapter 2. This is video 2.9, which is the last video for this lesson 2, and it deals with the review exercises on page 40. Now bear with me while I share my iPad screen. Actually, I'm still at my age getting used to this technology. I didn't need to ask you to bear with me. I just paused the recording. There we are. Pause the recording. I've now called up my iPad screen. There we are. So, page 40, the next review, first review exercise, G from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 29. Let's just go through the vocabulary first, and I'll reproduce the Devanagari script in Roman characters. You'll see, I hope you can all easily recognize, very easily recognize now, in that first word, mama, meaning my, that's the genitive of aham, therefore my. Gatrani, limbs. You may have come across the rule that the noun ending tra is often indicates a means or a tool or a device or an implement whereby something is done. For example, man means to think, or it's a root for mind, as a mantra is a mind tool. Tan means to stretch. So a tantra, we know the word as tantra, but tantra literally is a stretching tool, therefore a loom, as in the loom for weaving, where you stretch the wool to be woven. There are two words, or several words for to go. There's gam and ga. So a gatra, a going tool, a going device, just means a limb. Things whereby you can go. More originally, it was probably just the legs, but it came to mean all the limbs. So a gatra, therefore, means a limb. It's a neuter noun, therefore the plural ends in ani, gatrani. I'll give you a bit of advance sandhi now, because the n follows the r in the same word, it becomes subdotted, so gatrani, limbs. Next word is mukham. Which is mouth. It means both mouth or face. Parishush. Pari. Written like that with the root sign, this root sign, scholars will often do it like that. So if you're writing the root, it'll just be shush. But if you're writing a verbal prefix followed by the root, you will write the prefix first, then the root sign to indicate that it's the root that follows. Parishush, shush meaning to dry up, or to go dry, and peri usually means around, cognate with the Greek peri. So parishush, it just means to dry up. Shush actually is some cognate with sikus to desiccate. That shush, desiccate means the sick means to dry. So we have that cognate word there. Vepatu. Vepatu means a quivering or a trembling. Sharira means the body. There are several words for body. Another one is this deha and kaya, but this one sharira, that's the body. Locative sharire means in the body. sharire, and sharire me, in my body. Now, as I explained earlier, this form me is an enclitic only. It means it can only be tacked onto the end of a word. It can't. You couldn't talk about me sharire on its own. You have to be mama. You have to say mama sharire or sharire me. It's rather the same. For example, the way these enclitics are used. I am can be shortened to I'm. So this apostrophe M is an enclitic. It can only be used attached to the preceding word, I'm. For example, you have to say am I. You can't say my in that way for am I, because the am shortens to apostrophe M only after a word, at the end of a word group, I'm. The shortened form me in Sanskrit behaves in exactly the same way. So sharire me, in my body. Now Roma harsha. Roma, also you find the word loma. Loma is hair, but it specifically means the short hair, and is very often used in the short hair on the back of the neck, which stands up when you're under strong emotion, in terror. In this case, it's used in terror, so Roma. And the harsha means kind of excitement or bristling. Roma harsha. So it means hair bristling. He's describing his terror at the idea of the forthcoming battle called Roma harsha. The hairs on the back of his neck are standing up in terror. And jayate, last word in this vocabulary list, jayate. Jayate. This is from the root jan, meaning to be born, cognate with, from the Greek gen and the Latin gen, genesis, generation, and so on. Cognate also with the word, our word, kin, people of the same birth. Jan is slightly irregular because it forms its present stem in ja. So is born is jayate. It's not jayati because it's an atmanepada. You'll learn this soon. So a lot of verbs end in ati, others ate. You just have to learn which group they're in. So jayate, the primary meaning means is born, but anything that is produced, that happens, arises, can be jayate. So there's Roma harshascha jayate, and this Roma harsha, this bristling of the hairs, occurs, is produced, literally is born. So we'll now look at this verse. I'll read it for you slowly in Sanskrit, and then as before we'll analyze it, do it in Roman script and then analyze it. Sidanti mama gatrani mukhancha parishushyati ve patushcha sharire me roma harshascha jayate. I'll read it again. Sidanti mama gatrani mukhancha parishushyati ve patushcha sharire me roma harshascha jayate. So, sidanti. Okay, third person, plural, the anti ending. Sidanti mama gatrani. Oops. Gatrani. So, mama gatrani, my limbs. Sidanti. The root is sad, which means to sit. Slightly irregular because it forms its present base in seed. It's the it flip in English as well. It's present sit, past sat. So sidati, he sits, sidanti. The primary meaning is to sit, but it has a secondary and more common meaning, without a verbal prefix, of to fail, to sit, in other words, not be able to stand, to collapse. My limbs are, as it were, losing their power, collapsing. So sidanti mamagatrani, my limbs are failing. Mukancha parishushati, mukancha, and my mouth, parishushati, dries up. My mouth becomes parched. Let me put this in Latin script for you. Mukancha parishushati. Vepatishtu Vepatushya sharire me. Vepatushya sharire me. This word vepatu, on its own, it would be vepatu, ending in the visarga, the u. Now, just as we saw in a previous verb, previous verse, with the chakshu, what is it? Chakshur nasti, yes. It's on page 36, near the top, the first line of Devanagari on the page. Chakshur nasti, that becomes before a voiced consonant. Now the same becomes ush before a cha. Just as namah becomes namas before ta, so the or becomes ash or ush before a cha. All that's happening is this sound is taking on the quality of the following sound. Vepatusha, the same as we say point of articulation. Ushcha, ushcha. Vepatusha, sharire me. So, and a trembling, and there is a trembling, sharire me, in my body. Roma harshascha jayate. So, Roma harshascha. Sorry, I've done the wrong S there. Roma harshascha jayate. So, and cha, the Roma harshash, the hair standing, the bristling of the hairs on the neck, Roma harshascha jayate. This is the same, just to get vepatu, becomes vepatushcha. So Roma harsha becomes Roma harshascha jayate. And a Roma harsha occurs, is born, happens. So I'll read this once more for you before we go on to the second verse. Sidanti mama gatrani mukancha parishushyti vepatushcha sharire me roma harshascha jayate. Right, we'll now go to H, the second part of page 40. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava Nachashrayonu pashyami hatva swajjanam ahave. Read again. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Nachashrayonu pashyami hatva swajjanam ahave. So we'll look at the vocabulary. Nimittani. Nimitta is a neuter noun. It's a word used in samatha meditation, where you talk about the nimitta. And there's the dhyana nimitta, your meditation sign or your object of meditation. The basic meaning of the word is just a sign or a mark, nimitta, and it's a neuter noun. So the plural, just with gatra, gatrani, gatram in its nominative form, gatram, gatrani. So nimitta, stem form, nimittam, nominative form, neuter, therefore the plural nimittani. Viparitani, viparita, viparita, essentially from the viparita. Parita, going around, the idea of auspicious. Vi, separation, negation. Viparita, inauspicious, adverse, something that goes against you. And this is an adjective, and so it agrees with nimittani, so it's nimittani paritani, but it's and adverse signs, nimittani cha viparitani. So Keshava, sorry, but I'm getting onto the verse, I should have just been looking at the vocabulary. Keshava, Kesha is the hair, but not the Roma, which is the short, specifically hairs in the back of the neck. Your Kesha is the hair of the head. It's also used for a lion's mane. So Kesha, and from Kesha we have Keshava. Keshava doesn't just mean hairy, but it can mean that. It more specifically means having beautiful hair. So Arjuna, when speaking to Krishna, refers to him in the vocative form as Keshava, you beautiful haired man. So there he is, trembling with terror at the idea of the forthcoming battle against his own family. But he still remembers to compliment Krishna on his hairstyle. So Shreyam is a noun, and it means welfare or good fortune. It is a noun deriving from the adjective Shri, which is, the original meaning is bright or shining, and then by extension, blessed, auspicious, something like general auspicious. And it's the same word that we have in Sri Lanka, blessed Lanka, auspicious Lanka. And the word is also used before names of revered people or divinities, Sri Krishna, for example, and well-known gurus, Sri Ramana, and Sri Ramana Maharshi in Tamil Nadu. Now, Anupash, root. Okay, it's not quite as simple as she's put anu root pash. There is no root pash. This is one of these odd words, very, very few of them. The root is drish, but it makes its present stem in pashyati. And the same happens in Pali, where it becomes pas, as in vipassana. You see, vipassana, clear seeing or seeing into something. So drish becomes pashya. So anu, drish anu pashyami. Anupashyami. Anupashyati, anu, this prefix. We'll deal with this in great detail as we go along, the meaning of these verbal prefixes, but anu is cognate with the Greek ana, meaning along or in accordance with, anabolic. Analogy, analogia, reasoning in accordance, in reasoning following the logic of something else. So anu means like along or in accordance with, and suggests sustained activity. So pashyami is just I see. Anupashyami suggests a sustained examination of something, seeing along, like contemplation, carefully looking at something to see what's happening. Anupashyami. So pashyami, just nachishriyo pashyami would mean I see no good, but nachishriyo anupashyami suggests that there's been an examination of what's happening, and I detect, I cannot perceive any good. Hatva, the root han makes its past participle, and we haven't done that yet, but know it now. Hatta, and it's absolutive, in having done, as in hatva, having killed or in killing. This hatta, by the way, is cognate. It's han hat, cognate with our English word hit, though specifically in Sanskrit and Pali it more has the meaning to kill, but it's the cognate word. So hatva, having killed, swajanam, one's own people. Swa, the prefix swa, means of oneself or one's own. Jana, we've just seen this root jan jayate, jan to be born. Jana, same as in a generation, just people. So jana can be used in the singular or the plural. If it's used in the singular, it still can have a plural meaning, rather like our word people. So swajana, your swajana, just means own people, your own people, your own kinsman, your own family or tribe. And ahave, in battle. Ahave. Ahava, battle. And in the locative, ahave, in battle. So I will now write out this verse in Roman script. Nimittani cha, back again. So nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Sorry, it keeps flipping away from what I wanted to do. Nimittani cha pashyami. You see, did it again. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Viparitani keshava. Nacha shriyonu pashyami hatva swajjanamahave. Nacha shriyo, nacha shriyo. Did I mislead you on the last? Put shriyo. It's shreyas. It's actually a neuter noun. Shreyas, from shri, shreyas, that which is good or auspicious. So the Shreyas before an A it would be Shreyas Anupashyami, so it's Shreyo Nu Pashyami. Hatva Swajanamahave Hatva. So Pashyami, I see. The cha and. So Nimittani cha Pashyami. Signs and I see means and I see signs. Nimittani cha Pashyami long ah. Nimittani cha Pashyami viparitani, and I see adverse signs. O Keshava. Keshava is in the vocative here. O Keshava, you lovely haired man. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani, and I see adverse signs. Nacha shreyo nupashyami, and not, as nacha anupashyami, and I do not perceive shreyo, any good, any benefit, any welfare. I do not perceive welfare. Hatva swajanam ahave, having killed. Here, I mean literally having killed, as a past absolutive, but it has the force here of by killing. Nachishrayunu pashyami hatva swajanam ahave. Hatva swajanam ahave. Killing own people, meaning my own people, my own kin, ahave, in battle. So I'll read this through once more slowly. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava, nacha shreyonu pashyami hatva swajanam ahave. Right, that concludes lesson 2, and I hope you will still be with me for lesson 3. Thank you.